Hey, welcome back to Cedar Porch Homestead. I'm JR. This week, well, we're getting chicks in the mail. Now, we ordered our chicks from Murray McMurray Hatchery. We just got the notification this morning that they have officially been shipped. So within the next 48 to 72 hours, we are expecting some chicks to arrive here on the homestead. Now, when you think about why did you order chicks? Well, because it's faster than hatching them. And we hatched some here earlier this summer, and unfortunately we lost those hens to a predator, so we've got to replace. And not only are we replacing some laying hens that we lost to predation, we're also bringing some meat birds in this time. So we are going to be raising some meat birds on pasture or on our backyard homestead. We're going to be raising those on grass right here. But this video, we're going to show you how we take these chicks from the mail and how we get them set up in the brooder, and we are going to start that right now.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe.
All right, so because we got these chicks coming in the mail, I went ahead and picked up some of their feed. Now I've got a starter grower here from Texas Naturals. The reason we use Texas Naturals is because it is a non-soy, non-GMO feed. It's not labeled as organic, but it's as close as you can get without it necessarily having that label. So we store this feed here in the shop. We've got some barrels in here, but let's go ahead and interrupt Miss Courtney. She's in her office doing some work.
You leave her alone.
So we went with Texas Naturals. We really like that feed. We've had some really good success with that in the past with some other meat birds that we've grown out. Now it is a 20% protein. There's a lot of grower feeds out there that are specifically for these Cornish or these jumbo Cornish cross, and it's a 22% protein. I think that might be a little hot or a little too much protein for some of the broilers because that means they grow out really, really fast. We like to slow that process down just a little bit. And by slowing it down, instead of it being 81 days until they're ready to process, we're looking at maybe 90 to 100 days at most. And we're gonna end up with probably 4 to 5 pound finished birds. But what we want to do is we want to take you guys along as we're doing this. There's going to be a couple videos coming out on how we're raising these birds and how that progress is coming along. So I encourage you guys to stick around for those. But we got to finish unloading this feed. Now, I got 2 of these 50-pound bags of feed. I don't know if that's going to cover as much as we're going to need to grow these birds out the whole time, but that's 100 pounds of feed for 16 meat birds. So that's going to get them pretty close. We might have to go get another bag or 2 to finish these layers because we've got 6 layers coming with these meat birds as well, along with a free bonus exotic bird that we don't know what it's going to be. So that'll be exciting to find out. So my goal today is to get this brooder completely set up so when the post office calls Courtney tomorrow, if the chicks arrive a day early, that this brooder is completely set up, ready to go. All she has to do is introduce the chicks and turn our light on. But let me show you one of the features that I kind of added for this next time, and we're going to try this out. And that is this new feature here. So what this is just a box that has this tray at the bottom, and that comes in and out just like that, but it goes in the bottom here, and that is what we're going to set the water on and some of the food, and that way it's going to keep them from kicking all that water or dumping their water into their shavings, because chicks, well, one, they're not very smart. 2, they're really messy as far as using the bathroom in their food, kicking shavings in their food, and dumping their water. So what that's going to do is prevent their shavings from getting oversaturated. Saturated shavings will often lead to coccidiosis. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'll put that at the bottom right now because I don't even know how to spell it. So, and that is a respiratory disease that young chicks will get, and it's fatal. So we don't want that. We want our chicks to be in a very hygienical, very safe, healthy environment. And we're going to do that by, well, keeping them on deep bedding, keeping them from spilling their water into the shavings itself. But we need to add some more shavings to this because this is what's left over from the chicks we hatched not too long ago. And rather than pull all the shavings out, we've added a little bit of First Saturday lime Mix that in, and we're just going to put new shavings on top of it. And what that's going to do is that's actually going to continue the decomposition process. And this is going to actually go into our garden probably next year, because once we're done with these chicks, then it'll be time to flush all this out, put that in our compost, and then we can start over. But let's add some shavings. So we get our shavings from Tractor Supply, and we use just the flake pine shavings. A lot of people will tell you that pine's bad, cedar's bad. Chicks like shavings. They need to be on shavings. They need to be on something light and fluffy that's going to absorb all their poop and all the nastiness that they leave behind. We have found that pine flake shavings work the best, so we're going to stick with that. If you have something that works out better for you, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what your advice is. We are always open to change and become more healthy or raise healthier chicks. So we would love to hear from you. Other than that, we're going to stick with these pine shavings because, well, they've worked for us for a long time and we like them. And the cool thing about these shavings is the chicks get a little bit older as they kind of compact it down. You just add a little bit more, fluff it back up, and they're good to go. As you can see in our brooder, we have a good 4 to 5 inches and 6 inches in some places of shavings, and that does a great job of becoming a carbonaceous diaper or just a carbon blanket for all these chicks' droppings and nastiness that they leave behind. So we've got that all set up. I'm going to get the light situated to where it needs to be so that when the chicks arrive, Courtney can just plug it in and it'll start to warm up their environment. As far as our heat source for these birds, what I always like to use is just a red lamp. And the reason I like using a red lamp is because I have had success with it. A lot of people use the brooder plates, the little heating plates that are available for brooders. If you've had success with those, let me know. I know a lot of people have, but as long as you have a good red light, this seems to work really well. So let's test it and make sure the red light's working. And that's about how high we want it off the ground to introduce these chicks. As they get a little bit older, we can go ahead and start raising that up. And that also lets them kind of decide if they want to be under it or around it or away from it, because they'll let you know if the environment's too hot. They've got plenty of room to get around here in this brooder. So if they're all crowded as far away from the light as possible, we know it's too hot, we'll raise it up. If every single one of those chicks is directly underneath it and they're all crowded together, then we know it's going to be too cold and we need to drop it down just a little bit. So I hang my light on this piece of aluminum bar. And the reason why I do that is because these heat sources, they can get hot, and I don't want that to catch fire by putting it on a dowel rod or having it connected directly to the wood itself. We definitely don't want that to be on a weak pivot point to where it's going to fall in the shavings, because a lot of people lose a lot of chicks every year to brooder fires, and that's not really what we want here. So we want to be very careful, we want to be very safe, and we're going to maintain this in the best way we know how, and that is to just make a bomb-proof or a rock-solid foundation for these brooder lights to sit on. Okay, so the brooder's all set up, so if the post office calls tomorrow, Courtney is ready to go. That'll be really easy. She'll just have to feed and water the guys, get them all set up that way, and she'll show you how she does that. And if not, and they wait until one more day, then I get to show you. We'll see.
All right, well, Ashton and I are on the way to the post office. JR just called from the fire station, because all good things happen whenever he's at the fire station. So the post office called him and let him know that our chicks have arrived. So we are going to pick them up, and we'll show you what we do when we get home. Wow. So the first time that we ordered chicks, we really didn't know much about it, how it would work, and the post office did not call us when they arrived that morning. And so our poor mail lady, we had the sweetest mail lady, we loved her, and she drove around with those baby chicks in her car all day long. And they were fine, we didn't lose one. But I felt so sorry for her. Can you imagine this sound all day? Hey, let's get the brooder ready for the babies. And we have a video about brooder setup that we will link below. But basically you need water, food, and a heat lamp for them. In the water, Ashton, if you will, this is our little water. And if you have a bigger one, that's fine. You can just put rocks in here. Again, our other video will tell a little bit more about that. But I have some apple cider vinegar in that water. And we just pour it in there. Look at this thing that JR made up this time. So it's so, because their water and their food gets so nasty and they kick it all around. And so we're going to see how this works. See, it's level with the ground. So go ahead and flip it over and put the water there. Get some feed. We like using Texas natural feed. It's something that we can get here in Texas. And it is non-soy, non-GMO feed. One more scoop. They're little bitty guys. They don't need too much. Plus they get it all messy, so there's no reason to put a whole lot in there.
Hello. You're cute. You're lucky contestant number 1.
Do the water first. Look who else is excited that the chickens have gotten here. You think they're excited? They're excited. Although, I don't know that that would be all that great for the little babies. So, see, we have yellow ones, and then we have these pretty color ones. Because what we did was we ordered broilers and also laying hens. So the ones that are the colors are the laying hen ones. And the all yellow ones are the broilers. Good. So everybody made it. Everybody is looking super good. The only one that we're maybe possibly worried about is this little guy over here. Oh, he just got up though. I guess he was just sleepy. So yeah, they all look really good. We always have a really good outcome with this hatchery. And they'll go under that light when they need it. Look at them all. And there we go.
So as you saw, Courtney and Ashlyn absolutely crushed it, bringing these chicks in, getting them introduced to their new brooder. Now, if you notice when Ashlyn was bringing these chicks in, the first thing that she was doing was introducing them to the water and then the food. We've always had really good success by bringing them to their food and water when you're introducing them to a new environment, just like a mother hen would do to her baby chicks. This lets them know where that food and water is. We've never had a problem with our chicks starving or getting super dehydrated. So that is a great way of introducing them to this new environment as newly arrived baby chicks. Now, Murray McMurray, that's the hatchery we used. They absolutely delivered. We've got some great healthy chicks. We've always had great healthy chicks that we've ordered from there. So I'll leave a link in the description below in case you want to start a broiler or layer flock of your own. So I encourage you guys to use Murray McMurray, or you can hatch your own. We've got videos on how to do that as well. But make sure that you are subscribed, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We've got some other great videos coming out as far as these guys as they grow up. We've got the broilers leaving this brooder in 3 weeks. The layers are going to be leaving in about 4.5, and we'll show you what we're doing those in the progression of raising your own meat birds. We'll see you on our next video. Thank you so much.